Hello, all, and welcome. In our last episode, we had Dr. Guido Minaya and returning guest Angelo Biasi, founder of Solvably and Credably AI, converse on the Solvably platform and the Credably AI certification process. The conversation was too good for just one episode, so we kept it going for a part two. Stay tuned to learn more.
It's just fascinating to watch. And another facet of Solvably is that you can provide, in essence, even a feasibility kind of a study of the end projects, the end deliverables that are created by participants. Would you share a little bit more about that component?
Yeah, I'd be delighted to. We've been having great success with a specific program. It's called a Day of AI plus HI Literacy. And as you know, Guido, a lot of leaders, executives, they don't have a tremendous amount of time. AI is accelerating at a rapid pace. How can we do this in an intensive format, a boot camp, if you will, where we bring together leaders and we identify a common pressing challenge using a pre-survey, and then we serve a knowledge base via direct instruction and asynchronous learning, essentially to baseline AI and HI. So bringing them together is, sometimes you have novices, sometimes you've got others that are a little bit more advanced. So we serve up some direct instruction, asynchronous learning, 30 minutes, gets them to a specific baseline. We also provide some use cases that are specific to this pressing challenge. So it's a real bespoke program that's designed to not only help them solve for a challenge, but how are we going to implement AI and HI? And then the magic happens when we break out into teams and solve for the problem in a live setting. Those teams create deliverables and they challenge each other while they learn not only from their own individual team members, but from the other teams. And then following that, we evaluate and assess their skills and deliverables for certification and feasibility, respectively. So the outcome, is multiple innovation plans for implementation that we're now starting to follow up with implementation services for accountability. When I mentioned that program with Rowan University, 16 superintendents, 4 teams broke out into 4 groups of 4, the same problem, 4 different innovations, 4 different implementation plans. So I could be working in team 1 and be very excited about, where we're going and how we're following the process and the solution that we come up with. But you know what? The solution in team 3 is even cooler and, more exciting or more geared towards me. And to be able to walk out of that event, that session, that one-day session with 4 different really great ideas, not only great ideas, but 4 great implementation plans, is really extraordinary. So in summary, what do we do with our Day of AI and HI literacy? Well, we identify a problem, we instruct on the value of AI and HI, we solve for that problem using AI and HI in the Solvably platform, and then we certify the skills using Credably.ai and execute on solutions that drive specific metrics. We do all of that in one day. I mean, to walk away with that level of data, information, understanding, knowledge, application, soft skills is through the roof. I've had clients tell me that it would take them months to get that level of innovation spurring across some of these data sets, and it's really extraordinary. And now, as we're moving into the opportunity to provide implementation services that help those clients stay accountable. So, I come back with 4 ideas. Great. Well, what are you going to do now? Well, most companies will just go right back to what they were doing the day before because they're so busy. They're busy executives. Well, now having those implementation services, we are able to go in there and hold them accountable, work with them on achieving those results over the next 6 to 18 months and really drive having that innovation tied to specific business metrics that going back to that equation, innovation drives valuation. If we can increase the valuation of that company 2x, 4x, 10x with that 1, 2, 4, 10 innovative ideas, that's really significant and extraordinary.
Incredible. When I think of just the end-to-end capability, right, of just initially starting with a survey of what are the top challenges that this organization, this team is facing, then developing the challenge, and then working through from a design thinking approach, your better understanding of the problem itself, the potential roadblocks, the potential resources that you might need, and then the solution. And all along the way, how could AI provide a greater capability to solve for this on a ongoing basis? It's just remarkable. And to have the data around each of those interactions and aspects of it, not only at the macro level, but at the individual level, is just incredible. So I can see how the certification of it is defensible because you've got that level of data for each participant. And then the final solution, right, of feasibility. So what might other examples be of how Solvably is being leveraged in the K-12 higher ed or business sector? And what other examples come to mind?
Yeah, and Guido, I just want to say I appreciate the fact that you mentioned the word defensible. Evidence-based, defensible. This is an issue that I have had with direct instruction for so many years. We consume content, we gain a knowledge base, and our cognitive recall goes right out the window after we take that assessment usually. So the fact that this is evidence-based, that this is defendable, that we can use this and refer back to it often. I often say, I went to MIT and I had a wonderful experience, but I'm not really applying all that I've learned from that experience. However, I can tell you exactly what happened in the escape room that I did with my mother-in-law and family 4.5 years ago to the T. What does that say about an experience for solving a problem? And just to answer your question, as far as some examples from working with a large Fortune 200 company like Cognizant, solving for how to best use AI among their sales teams. That was a great project that we loved working with them. To working with a small window and door company who solved for the challenge of using AI to streamline their workflow and processes for customer experience. Another couple of examples I could think of, universities. Rowan, as I mentioned earlier, FGCU, using Solvably and Credably AI to support career readiness. We're seeing great opportunities across the board as to why this approach and platform provides the greatest value versus, as I mentioned earlier, learning a specific tool. Solving to the problem versus Elon Musk has got a great video out there that says, what's flawed with education now is we teach how to use a screwdriver, how to use a wrench. He's like, that's the wrong way. Show me how an engine works. Let's take apart an engine, and in the process, we'll learn how a screwdriver and a wrench work through taking apart the engine, understanding how an engine works, and that's really our thinking. As a matter of fact, we're really proud to be working with the Edison Awards this year and next year, supporting their AI plus HI Innovation Challenge for high school students in Lee County. It's really extraordinary. We have the unique opportunity to have high school students who are going to be using the Solvably and Credably AI platform solution to solve for a very specific workforce challenge for the Lee County. Right in our own backyard. It's we're excited. They're going to be using AI, they're going to be using their human intelligence skills, working in teams to solve for a workforce challenge in the community. And it's my guess that we're going to come away with some really interesting applications of AI from their collaboration and critical thinking and creativity that just might take, Lee County into the stratosphere of prosperity, if you will. But it's going to be really cool. We're doing that now, and the winners, as I assume, are going to be announced during the Edison Awards in April of next year. So we're really excited about having that opportunity. But just gives you some idea of the range of, what else is super unique and different about Solvably and the Credably.ai solution is that it's for a very wide net, K-12 higher ed and corporate talent. We've had third graders on the same platform as business executives. And it says a lot about the UI and UX of the platform, the thinking that went into it, the pedagogy, and now the results and outcomes where we can really pinpoint skills, competencies, career tracks, different rubrics, innovative ideas that lead to key business objectives that drive valuation. Taking that to a high school students with the Edison Awards, as you can imagine, imagine being that kid who comes up with that team, who comes up with that idea that solves for a community workforce challenge. Imagine putting that on your college application, Guido. Do you think you're going to get the seat then? It's pretty cool.
Yes, it is truly remarkable that our Lee County High School students will have the opportunity to learn about AI and HI through your Solvably platform, Angelo, and pairing this initiative with a competition sponsored by the Edison Awards is a perfect match. Well, for those unfamiliar with the Edison Awards, it was established in 1987 as really one of the most prestigious accolades recognizing excellence in new product and service development, marketing, design, and innovation. And this was inspired by the legacy of Thomas Edison and his groundbreaking work at Menlo Park. And as we all know, the Edison home is here in Fort Myers, Florida. The awards honor individuals and organizations that drive impactful innovation. So each year, the Edison Awards celebrates leaders who have made significant and lasting contributions to the world of innovation. And past honorees include luminaries such as Steve Jobs and Elon Musk. I was fortunate to attend last year's Edison Awards event, and I was inspired to see Lori Leshin, director of NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, as one of those that was recognized, as well as Gwynne Shotwell, president of SpaceX. Both of those received top honors. And I understand that the 2025 Edison Awards will recognize Jensen Huang, CEO of NVIDIA, as well as Dr. Michael Crow, president of Arizona State University. So for those high school students who win the AI HI High School Challenge, the chance to learn from and be inspired by top innovators that come in for the event, as well as those two distinguished individuals, will be an incredible and transformative experience. Well, Angelo, as we look to the future, what trends do you see in AI and workforce development?
Yeah, that's a great question. I see a lot of taking this to a more automated type of fashion. The words that come to mind when I think of what we're doing, how we're reimagining learning, how we're reimagining assessment, how we're best preparing learners to function in this uncertain AI infused future. I keep coming back to problem solving, innovation, productivity advantages. Josh Bersin says the company with the greatest productivity advantage wins. Yeah, that hasn't changed. And in looking into the future, I don't see that changing into the future. So how do we get the greatest productivity advantage? I see, of course, AI literacy and redefining that to include human intelligence being a huge piece of this. Where do we fit in? Other words that quickly come to mind: empowerment, adoption, value adding. This whole idea of return. How do we have innovation drive valuation that equates to a higher return our investment? And then how do we increase the velocity of that? And then, of course, Solvably and Credably AI, and love those to become household names at some point, where students at an early age are using those platforms, and they kind of grow with them over time. And as they face new challenges, whether it be K-12, higher ed, or in the workplace, that process comes immediately to mind, and they're solving for it, and they're using different tools, and then they're referencing that in the future, and building their soft skill e-portfolio and a whole library of challenges and certifications that they receive by going through these experiences, by going through these performances. So we see a very, very bright future. It's just a matter of now, meeting the demand as quickly as we possibly can, because the time is now. Tomorrow, deep learning worked, according to Sam Altman. It's coming faster than we anticipated, and if we're not ready, if we're not best preparing ourselves now of how we're going to fit into this AI infused future, well, then the consequences and the risks are that much greater. And I don't know exactly what that means, but I think everyone sort of has some idea.
From our perspective at Minaya Learning Global Solutions, we are so delighted that we were able to partner with you and understand Solvably, put it to practice within our own firm. And then as we look to potentially assisting clients locally, nationally, globally, we've had instructional designers go through the process. We've had our global facilitators go through the process and better understand what their role might be. So we are preparing for that kind of demand and partnering with you and other opportunities that come our way. But to your point, the sooner we can get more businesses, more organizations, higher ed, K-12, through this foundational step, the more prepared we'll be to confront the new opportunities and challenges that are going to face us. Angelo, thank you so much for taking time to talk with us today. I'm excited about how we can leverage AI and 10x not only our own productivity, but the productivity of our clients in terms of performance. But it is just such an exciting time, and thank you so much for your partnership.
Oh, likewise, Guido. It's such a pleasure working with you and the team, and I appreciate the opportunity to share this with you and your audience today. And thank you, Dario, for your time as well.
Okay, Dario, thanks. I'll turn it back over to you.
All right. Well, thank you both so much for sharing these insights. In our next episode, we will continue diving into the topic of AI plus HI and how it is shaping the future of work. Until next time.